What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Giants. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo. Just made my way back from the bathroom, and I'm with my co-host, Alex Wilson, and today we're continuing the series. You guys have shown so much love and support on this quarterback prospect breakdown series. You guys have been enjoying watching us live react to the All-22 on each of these quarterback prospects. We started with Jackson Dart. We went to Shedeur Sanders yesterday. We looked at Jalen Milroe today. Let's look at my guy, Cam Ward. He was my guy in the 2024 NFL draft when he declared out of Washington State. He then changed his mind, went back to school, went to Miami, became an even better player. And man, I haven't watched a ton of his All-22 at Miami, Alex. I watched a lot of his All-22 at Washington State. I'm excited for this refresher because I obviously remember where I was on him in my evaluations last year. You know, I was, again, a big fan. I thought he was a mid-round gem. But obviously, I've seen some of his games since then. I watched a little bit of Miami football this past season, and I saw a lot of growth. But I'm excited to see all of that growth on the All-22, where you get the full scope of what was going on the field. So this is just an exciting one for me because, again, I watched him last year, and now I'm ready to see some of that growth and see where he got better, maybe where he remained stagnant, whatever. But we're going to look at his performance against Virginia Tech in this episode. And again, just really excited to go ahead and dive in. Going to bring up the super chat before I hand it off to you, Alex. Paul, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, happy Friday, gents. Happy Friday. I know a lot of you are on your lunch break, as somebody mentioned in the chat, ready to watch us break down some film. And we are so ready to break it down for you. So it's going to be really exciting. Alex, how are you doing today, my friend? And I want to know, what is the one thing that you are keying in on in this film for Cam Ward?
Yeah, and Paul, thank you so much, my good sir. And listen, everyone's been asking us to do players, and honestly, we're just having so much fun with it. We have to keep, kind of putting out some good content for you and looking up all these players. Travis Hunter will be coming up. We have a lot of guys to get through. I'm really excited to look at some of these other, maybe lesser known players, and we'll look at obviously the other options at BPA third overall. But this is probably one of the more exciting episodes, Anthony, because we love Cam Ward. He's our QB1, and it's not really even remotely close, in my opinion. That could change after this film review, but as of right now, I think he's my QB1. I think he's a lot better than Sanders before looking at the film. After, we'll reevaluate, but just from a pure playmaking perspective, a pure aura, natural feel for the game, there's not a better player in this draft class than Cam Ward. He is a special talent when it comes to off-script, just heroic, explosive, risky playmaking. The guy makes a lot of risks. So the game that we're going to watch today against Virginia Tech has a little bit of both. He went for 343 yards in this game at a 63.2% completion rate, 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. We're trying to go for a little bit more of an objective approach with these film sessions, not looking at the best game. Of course, yesterday with Jalen Milroe, we looked at the best game possible. But what I will say is that it kind of was interesting because we saw a lot of flaws, even though it was his best game. So I think that it was a good game to look at to get a picture of what his upside looks like. That's what we really we're trying to highlight. Cam Ward, a lot of tremendous elite performances. Wanted to get some interceptions in there just to see what his downfalls and downside really is at the next level. So I'm excited to break him down for sure. It's going to be super, super fun. We'll probably do more film sessions on multiple all these players moving forward. We have so much time, but I'm excited to kind of look at this game specifically.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we looked at 2 games in our Shedeur breakdown. So, maybe we set too high of a bar of excellence to reach, but no, we will replicate it. If we get through this game real quick with Cam Ward, don't worry. I have like 8 games of his All-22 downloaded, so we can jump right into another game if we have the time for it today. But before we dive into it, I want to ask everybody in the chat a question. So obviously I have my new recording set up, looking fresh, looking clean, no longer stuck in a corner of a bedroom. But now I've got this Odell signed picture right here. What do I put here? All right, so I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Comment down below. I have an Eli Manning signed jersey.
Daniel Jones.
Or shut up. Like, actually stop talking. I have an Eli Manning signed jersey, or I have a Lawrence Taylor signed football helmet. So you guys comment down below and let me know what you think would look best in this setup. I will not be hanging a picture of Alex. That is not happening.
This.
No,
be hilarious. Seriously, me looking at myself.
I look at you way too much every day. I don't want to look at you anymore. Okay,
That's
respectfully.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But anyway, let's go ahead. I'm going to pull up the film now, switch around my camera as I always do in my super cool high-tech recording setup. And now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And let's get into Cam Ward, baby. Let's do it. There it goes. StreamYard. Nice.
Timing's absolutely impeccable too.
Yeah, that was good. I peeped that. Thank you.
I was waiting for the Ward.
All right. So here we are. Let's go ahead and start it. For some reason, my other light is no longer plugged in. That's fantastic. Let's just get the film going.
No one's looking at you, dude. Don't worry.
All right. Fair enough.
We're looking at Cam.
Yep. What a hell of a catch right here by the tight end. Oof.
All right. Great little behind him.
No, it was behind him. But seriously, is that the effort? That's your effort?
Yeah, use both hands, brother. Come on.
That shit just got me pissed off on the first play. First play and I'm turned up. What are you doing? Catch that ball for your quarterback.
Oh, this is the version of Anthony we're getting today. I love it.
That's a nice play design, too. Creates a natural pick with that slot receiver. I think that's your boy, Restrepo. Does he wear number 7? I'm going to assume. I don't know. That's like
that's a good throw.
That's your king right there, Restrepo.
That is my king. I have a lot of slot kings in this draft class.
Yes, you do. I really like how quickly he gets the ball out. Cam Ward has a very quick trigger release as he did last year. 1 through 2 reads there. Nobody open. Takes a sack and fumbles. Let's go ahead and take another look at the wide angle. Let's confirm that there was nobody open before we So he looks right. They've got that pretty much covered up. Goes to the middle of the field. I would say that's double teamed unless he was throwing with a ridiculous amount of anticipation for your boy Restrepo. However, I think there is some help over the top. I don't think that's a ball that you're going to force.
Coverage sack.
Yeah, coverage sack, but you got to hold on to the ball. So let's see it from the tight angle.
He gets through his reads really fast, though, at least. You know, like he really moved on fast on that one.
All right, so this is Cam Ward's flaws in a nutshell. This is the exact problem that he has. Hero ball, doesn't know when to let a play die. The play here is so dead. Like, it's so over. You're not coming back from this. Just go down to the ground, and he's trying to flip this thing forward. For what reason? No good reason at all. And I don't know if they actually ended up calling that a fumble or an incomplete pass, but that's just the kind of stuff that Cam Ward does that you need to coach out of at the next level. You can't be making plays like that.
Yep, that is going to be his flaw over and over again.
Interesting pro comp in the chat from Nicholas Braxton. He says that Cam Ward reminds him of a bigger Russell Wilson. That intrigues me.
Interesting. That is interesting. I never thought of that one. I think yours has been Dak Prescott more so.
Yes, Dak Prescott is my pro comp for Cam Ward. I just need to highlight what is this cluster F down at the bottom of the screen. You've got 2 receivers run into each other on this play. Watch this. So first of all, the tight end tries to chip and release and just falls flat on his face. Fantastic. And then watch Restrepo and whoever the other receiver are. They're hugging at the 45-yard line. A little tough for your quarterback to succeed in this situation. I mean, seriously, what is he supposed to do here?
What the hell is happening?
Except just go make a play himself, which is what I love about him.
And by the way, like, he's a sneaky athlete. Like, people don't give him enough credit. I think he's a pretty decent athlete. He can take off. He's not going to burn you with his legs, but he's got enough mobility that he will run, and he will, he can beat out an edge rusher off around the edge if he needs to.
Yeah, I agree with you. And also I want to highlight, because we've been trying to take a look at fundamentals, especially in the pocket for each of these quarterbacks. And I just want to highlight this active footwork from Cam Ward. He's always got very active feet in the pocket, and that's something that we will notice throughout the film, except for when he decides to just stand there like a statue. But that's almost like his showboating to me.
Yeah. What I will say, though, is that, wow, that was a freaking crazy ball. That was a rope. Yeah, that was an absolute frozen rope. What I will say is this, like, his footwork, it looks lazy, but it's because his steps are so small. Like, he takes really small steps, and it's so reactive. He's always able to kind of, like, rebalance himself. Like, sometimes he looks like he's not moving, but he's really just bouncing, Well,
I like when he's bouncing, and that's great. And
sure,
I can tell, I can always, bouncing is good. You want to have active feet, like I said.
Yeah.
It's just, there are times where, I'm sure we've all seen the viral clips where he just starts moonwalking in the backfield, and he just gets flat-footed. Josh Allen does that sometimes. Cam Ward does that. Don't do that unless you're an absolute superstar. And I guess at the collegiate level he was, but I don't want to see him doing that at the rookie level, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so here we've got a slot fade with this motion man. I really do love this coverage design. It's to the near hash, making it a shorter throw for Cam Ward. So I will say Shane something. I don't remember what his last name is, but the offensive coordinator for Miami did a fantastic job with Ward this year, giving him dialed up shot plays just like this one. And this is a really nice design here. Makes it look like, it's going to be a screen. It's a fake screen. And now you've got all the leverage in the world because this receiver has a full head of steam coming off of the motion. And then, perfect. Yeah. And with it being so tight to the sideline, you got to throw an absolute dime. And Cam Ward does. Also credit to the receiver for stacking the cornerback properly. It was a pretty good route.
Yeah. I'm excited for this angle. Look how concise his throwing motion is. Like he doesn't wind up like when we see Jalen Milroe, he like winds up and then freaking strong arms it. He kind of has a similar throwing motion to Dart at times. In the way that it's so quick and he can shorten it when need be.
I'm going to highlight the exact thing. I've been highlighting this for each prospect, but Cam Ward does this best. He flips his hips better than anybody in this class. Don't watch his arm. Don't watch his legs. Don't watch his head. Only watch his hips here and look at how they flip on this throw. You see that hip movement?
Yeah.
That's what makes him. Yeah, I mean, look, his hips are fully turned and opening up and putting all of that power. That's lower body to upper body marriage right there. That's why his ball is able to fly so quickly and so accurately. Again, I've referenced this Josh Allen breakdown that I saw. It was actually more of an interview with Josh Allen and his personal trainer, how they only worked on his hips after his rookie season for 2 years, and that's how he ended up fixing his accuracy. Cam Ward already has incredible hips. And again, to make my Dak Prescott pro comp, Alex, we've all seen the viral video of Dak Prescott prior to games doing those ridiculous hip exercises, right? He always goes viral when he does those in the pregame. But that's why he's able to generate so much torque, like you said, Dak Prescott is. He's got really good and flexible hips, and you see that with Cam Ward, and that's why this ball is so accurate downfield. He's got really good hips.
Absolutely. He does have very good technique in that regard.
Yes.
What I think that makes it another dime, man. Freaking rope. I remember this throw too. This is such a freaking good throw. Like this throw, like that's anticipation, by the way. That's throwing a player open.
Yes, absolutely.
That ball cannot be misplaced. 35 yards out, that's a freaking absolute rope. And like you said, the torque on his hips, it allows him to have a strong base and put more power behind his throw. Bam.
I mean,
look at how concise that is.
Good. And that is like such a tight window throw.
And his throwing motion, look how concise and freaking quick it is. It's just, there's no time wasted. There's no energy wasted. There's no motion wasted here. It's elbow is tucked in. He freaking zips that thing in there. And he follows through so well with his arm too. It's just perfect, man. When he's in the pocket from a strong base, there's not a better quarterback in this draft class that's not even remotely close.
You're right. I mean, this is picture perfect form right here. Left arm completely tucked up against his chest, his hips completely rotated. But what is the numbers?
He looks like he's photoshopped into this picture, into that frame.
He looks like he's hovering above the entire offensive line, like Superman flying through to try and hit Cam Ward. But hey, apparently Superman, Homelander, whoever can't stop Cam Ward when he's in the pocket. So just keep that in mind. But he absolutely throws this guy open. Like this guy is covered. Most quarterbacks would look at this and say that's not good leverage. He's covered. You could throw a guy open though if you're a talented quarterback. He threw Cam Ward open. Cam Ward threw him open here for a touchdown with middle field close. I want to highlight that. There was a safety in the middle of the field.
That has to be done quick.
It has to be just a rope. It's a perfect throw. That's an absolute dime.
Yeah, that's a really great throw. So far, Cam is lighting this thing up. Oh, like that, dude, that little mobility. It's so Mahomes-like. Like that little ability. He's so my homie. A little homie. Like he's able to buy himself inches of time that make and break plays that only Mahomes, like it's very Mahomes as the way he moves, the way he navigates pressure and the way that he's able to escape tackles. And by extra seconds, just 2 seconds is the difference between winning and losing a play. Like right there, like the hesitation. He's so freaking aware, like the elite awareness when it comes to evading defenders.
It's really the thing with Cam that separates him from all other quarterbacks in this class for me is his tranquility. Nice big word there. Yeah. I love how calm he is under pressure. when the rush is coming, it doesn't bother him at all. He's unfazed completely. He even was at Washington State. It's one of the reasons that I liked him so much. But I just think he's so calm and cool and collected under pressure, and I think this play is a perfect example. I don't love the decision to throw cross body when you're, basically out of bounds, but whatever. Like you said, it's my homie.
It's my homie. It's great. So quick to get it out there too. No wasted motion. I love that about Ward though. There's literally no wasted motion in his fundamentals. I remember seeing this live actually.
That's just an easy play design. I mean, that's a broken coverage.
Layup.
Love the fake though.
Beautiful throw.
And when we talk about this certain word, starts with A, ends with A, aura. I mean, watch the way he flips this throw and just starts walking it off. Aura. I love Cam Ward, dude. I just love the way he flicks this thing and just starts walking it off.
It's just a perfect layup, man. Like he makes it easy. Like every throw's easy for his receivers. There's no.
I mean, that was easy for everybody because there's like nobody within 15 yards. But I'm just saying the way that he flicked it and then started walking to the sideline.
I love that crap though. Like I love this crap. Like he could throw this like a normal player, but instead he flips it because why the hell not? Like let's have some fun. He plays like he enjoys it. You know what I mean? And like sometimes you don't see players that play like they're having fun out there. Cam Ward plays like he's having a damn good time.
Yeah, it's actually. I like that you said that because there's a famous or infamous, I don't know how famous it is, but there's a moment from when Lamar Jackson was in his contract year and he would go through his 5 reads and then throw a touchdown. The offensive coordinator at the time, I think it was Greg Roman, would pull him to the side and be like, yo, how did you do that? And he'd be like, I'm just playing ball. And then Lamar Jackson would throw a pick out of nowhere, like he didn't even read the field. And the offensive coordinator would be like, yo, what are you doing? What were you thinking? I'm just playing ball, man. I feel like Cam Ward has that same energy. He is just playing ball.
So. Yep. I love that about him.
LDE with a perfect comment. This is like absolute truth, man.
Yeah, for real. Honestly, it sucks because the Titans would be stupid to pass on Cam Ward. Like, he's genuinely stupid.
I do agree. But hey, let's see what they do in free agency. Maybe they sign
beautiful.
Someone. That's an absolute.
Damn it.
Hey, you know what? Actually,
miss out on this guy.
No. On this comment last year, I was a fan of Malik Neighbors. I loved Malik Neighbors, had him as my WR1, and we got him. Now, obviously, I wanted a QB, but so we do get guys that I like sometimes. And also, Ian, one of our OGs, thanks for joining. He heard aura and his sensors went off. That's a great comment. I love it. But let's just look at this dropper because he puts this thing in a bucket.
Freaking hate the Giants, bro. Why can we never just lose the one game we need to lose so we can get players like this?
Yeah. This is great touch on this ball, too. I'm just so impressed with his hips, though, man. Like, look at the hips. Man.
And Amir, we are glazing him up because this dude deserves to be glazed. Like,
no, we are glazing heavy.
we are. But this is like one of the worst games I chose from his entire sample, and he's just destroying.
He did turn the ball over a few times in this game, but
we have to see.
It must have happened in the second half because all of these throws are just like that's a piss missile in between.
What, bro? Like Titans. I hope to God the Titans are as dumb as they have looked the last.
The Titans are a pretty poorly ran organization. So.
Oh my goodness! Like, come on. Like, you seeing this?
All right,
bro?
settle down.
Like, look at this freaking throw, dude. Imagine that in Arlington against Dallas with Neighbors in the back of the end zone.
I will say,
going crazy.
I'm going to say I've seen this throw made in Arlington by the Cowboys. He reminds me so much of Dak. Like, I've seen Dak make plays like this. I think he is so similar to Dak Prescott as a quarterback, especially when you talk about the fact that Dak has had his fair share of, like, what are you doing throws and interceptions. Like, he's kind of got a gunslinger trait to him. And that's what people criticize Cam Ward for, is his tendency to kind of throw those what are you thinking balls at times, but also make plays like this. So I don't know.
I'd rather him make dumb mistakes sometimes than never do anything good. The Giants have players that don't ever do anything good at quarterback. Like, it's just a whole bunch of nothing. Like, I'd rather risky, like, win it or leave it all on the field type of stuff. It's always looking at the hips, Ian. Always look at the hips.
Always. But no, I just want to, again, go back to the tranquility of Cam Ward and just look at him under pressure here, how it just doesn't phase him.
It's no phase. And he just
his play under pressure is so impressive. It was at Washington State too. All right, but
that was a bad throw.
There you go.
I remember this one too.
Is that a house call? No, it's not. Oh, he makes a tackle. That's 100 points in certain fantasy leagues.
But not in real life.
No, not in real life, no. All right, so let's try and figure out what happened here. This DB makes a great play, though. He sits on this one, but let's break down this interception and pump the brakes on our glazing.
Yes, let's be objective.
All right, I would call that a clean pocket as well. Just was trying to do a quick look over on the pass protection. I think
Good
it's
film
clean.
study.
And you've got 1, 2, 3 defenders plus a middle field safety. It looks like it's cover one. I would say this is all man coverage across the board with a middle safety against a 5-man pass rush. 5-man pass rush with a quarterback spy. That's what you're seeing here in terms of the coverage. So they're running a wheel route from the slot receiver. I think it's your guy Restrepo, again, number 7. He's going to turn this thing upfield, and I just think that this was a forced ball by Cam Ward because I think that there's a lot of crowding here with these 3 receivers and the 1 safety. And if he goes through his progressions and looks at the top of the screen, he's got an easy walk-in touchdown on that post.
Yep. Yeah, it's this is so the one thing I will say about Cam though, in an instance like this, like he'll make a mistake like this and the next drive he'll come out and score immediately. You know what I mean? Like this, he's not. His confidence doesn't get hit by mistakes like this. It makes him better. And it's kind of like, that's stuff. Another reason I like him is just, he doesn't get phased by mistakes. He has like amnesia. Like he forgets about it. Next drive, he goes out there and he's like, I'm going to get the points back. You know what I mean? Like it's special. That's
I agree with you on that, but that's also like we're pulling a positive away from a negative. So I do want to talk about the negative on this play. He's
a forced throw
in particular. I think that sometimes he does lock into his first read. Now he doesn't lock into his first read the same way that we say that about other quarterbacks, where they lock in and they can never get to their second read and they end up taking sacks. He locks into his first read in the mindset of, oh man, pre-snap, this looks like this coverage, and if I hit this throw, this is a touchdown, and I'm going to throw that thing. That's what it is. It's more like he's predetermining before he even has the ball in his hands where he thinks this touchdown is going to be. And so Greg Turdhaller is back in for another one. He's been here for every single episode. Thank you, Greg. But he says pre-snap read has to be better on this play. I absolutely agree with you. I think that he thought the coverage was one thing and it was something completely different. He probably thought it was a cover 3 and it was a cover 1. And that the defender just sat on that man coverage route and just played it absolutely perfectly. And
you got one on the top of the screen. You gotta take that shot there. You can't force into traffic like that.
Agreed. So I think this was a case of pre-snap, didn't read it properly and forced the throw. And I'm not saying that Cam Ward's a one-read quarterback, not at all, because I think he definitely gets through his progressions, but sometimes he gets a little over-aggressive when he thinks he knows he's got something and he forces it.
Yeah. I'd also like to point out, like, he loves to preference his top receiver. Like Restrepo's going to get more like hot reads than anybody else, obviously. But like he feeds guys he trusts. And that's why Restrepo is just constantly is getting the ball.
Yeah, he definitely loves to feed his boy. Here's another errant throw. Let's see what went wrong here. So this time he has a little bit of pressure. And he tries to throw an anticipatory throw over the middle of the field. But
good idea. Just a little bit sailed it.
If there's one rule for quarterbacks, I think we all know what it is. You don't throw high over the middle. So you can't, even if you think that you've got this anticipatory throw, you can put this thing high for Restrepo to grab. You don't throw
I don't love that. The fundamentals were all off. Look where this ball comes out from. Look how sidearm this throw is. That's why it sails. He needs
I think on this one, I think he's shying away from the hit. I think he's shying away from pressure on this one.
For sure.
But that's a complete. That is literally sidearm. That's the definition of a sidearm throw.
Exactly. Ball. And I like how he does have those arm slots, but like you can't make that throw. You have to like this would be an instance where he rolls out a little bit and makes something out of nothing. But you can't make a throw like that. He kind of abandoned his fundamentals with pressure. But I don't hate the idea. Like that's a good place to put the ball. Just sailed it a bit because of the pressure in his face.
Yeah, I mean they're playing a lot of single high safety in this one. See right here, number 18, it's just kind of a deep man, and it looks like it's a cover 3 based on the way that this defender plays and these defenders play a zone. And so you don't really want to attack the middle of the field in a cover 3 anyway. Like I guess Restrepo would be the most open with this crossing coming over here, but if you have more time in the pocket, I would say what Cam Ward should have done on this play is probably try to extend, come out here and scramble and hit Restrepo on the crosser more towards the sideline. Like it's a fine read, but
if he spins out of this to the backside, because he has a nice shot in one-on-one coverage down the.
Yeah, that
far
too.
hash.
But I think that the read is right because you know that
Yeah, it's
this.
fine.
Yeah, when you have these crossers against this cover three, you can really fit it in here on these sidelines when they're crossing, and he is breaking open. The ball is just
Yeah, I think it's a
inaccurate due to the pressure. I think he
fine
just
read.
forced it. He
Agreed.
forced
Yeah,
it.
just his fundamentals broke down at a critical moment.
Yeah, because of the pressure. And I will say, I mean, I was just saying the tranquility and praising him for playing under
Yep.
pressure like it doesn't matter. But on that play, the pressure definitely got to him.
So this is the type of play that like this is what separates him between like him and like a Jalen Milroe. Milroe will take off running here. Cam is like, I'm getting rid of this ball through the air. Like the two different style of players entirely. But like you're gonna get this type of play style from him every day, every single week. And it's a special, you can't really replicate this. Like not many people are able to do this type of kind of just surviving until there's something available.
For sure. Here it looks like the Virginia Tech defense is running some sort of a cover six where you've got the single high safety, but it really is like a cover two on one side, and then you've got a third deep. So it's cover six. And what I'm seeing here is now they've run this same wheel route play 3 times, and Virginia Tech has had enough of it, and they're sitting down on it, and they see it coming. When this guy comes in motion, they're like, okay, wheel route. And that's they're completely right. So they sit on this one and make it really
One thing
tough
about Cam is like, if there's a guy open underneath, but he sees a guy open deep, he's taking the deep shot. Like he's not settling.
Yeah. On this one though, against cover 6, you don't want to throw this deep. You want to take what's in front of you. And so like, I agree with you. That is his mindset. And again, I love aggressive high to low reading quarterbacks, but on this play in particular, and the last one, just take your check down, man.
I know. I totally agree with you. That's kind of what I was hitting at too. Like he takes that, and that's like one of the downsides of him is like he's just going to take the home run shots. He's not going to settle for the easy completions. That's where I would be trying to develop him in the next level. Like if you see if they're playing a certain coverage, take the yards, take the free yards. You don't always have to hit a home run, So
Yeah, Greg's right. He threw into the strength of the coverage. Like this is the last throw that you want to make against this coverage. But again, I do think that this is a moment of him predetermining his read before the ball is snapped. I think pre-snap, he needs to do a little bit better processing what the coverage is and who is not going to be open. You got to recognize, okay, this is a cover 6 of some sort. So I'm not going to be able to take these deep shots. I'm going to need to come back to my number 7 dependable slot receiver in the middle of the field. Instead, he just predetermined, I'm going to throw it up here to my guy and try and make an explosive play. And,
receivers are going to love him. That's for sure. He's going to give them a lot of chances to win.
And to his credit, this ball is thrown back shoulder. So it's like decent placement. There is a world where this does get completed with a Malik Neighbors out there, but this is not the right read.
Right. Makes sense to me. So, okay.
Here, his left tackle just got demolished. So
he's
definitely ready to play for the Giants.
Is that Josh Azito out there? I didn't even know he played for Miami.
Josh Azito is everywhere these days.
Yeah, I know, right? He's screwing up offensive line in both collegiate and NFL.
Man, this guy just broke free. This should have been a touchdown.
Yeah. I think he thought that receiver was going to win, and he did not win that route.
Yeah, I think he obviously knew it was one-on-one coverage outside, and he wanted to take the shot. So he takes the shot, but this receiver just doesn't get open. He should have gone through his reads instead of just, again, deciding before the play that he was taking that specific shot. So that's been a trend on the last 2 drives that we've seen here is he's deciding before where
it looked like he was trying to read that safety to see if he was going to hover towards the middle, and then I think he realized he had enough room to make that throw. But like you said, it just, he took a shot, but his receiver didn't win that route. What was that?
A really blown up screenplay. Virginia Tech's defense has started clamping up on this scheme.
Yeah.
All right, here I'm going to say you've clearly got a free play. Throw that freaking ball. What are you doing? Defensive lineman jumps. He's offside. Yeah, I mean, it's a 3-man rush. Obviously, the pressure comes through because of the penalty. They didn't pick him up. But you throw a pick here, it doesn't even matter. Just throw that ball downfield, Free play.
Yep.
So that's just an awareness moment.
Yeah, it's tried to flip it over him. Yeah, he's definitely starting to have some troubles. Their offensive line is getting killed in this point in the game right now.
I think that
strong.
the offensive line, it's getting worked, but he's also, I think, having NFL pockets here, like 1, 2, 3. That's an NFL pocket. Now it's broken down, but the ball should have been out. He's got 3 open receivers here.
Yep.
They're playing off. They're playing a deep coverage. You've got to throw the ball underneath and stop playing this hero football, and that's what he's doing. He's playing hero ball. This guy is still open. He was open the whole freaking play.
Yeah, that ball's going to be out a lot faster.
Yeah. I mean, let's
like instantly.
1, 2.
That's what Sanders is really good at, by the
4.
way. That ball is out. Like
Sanders takes what the defense gives him.
Yep.
Cam Ward tries to make the defense give him something more, and he makes a play out of this. He throws, it's a completion downfield, but
he's taken a lot of deep shots.
He's aggressive, that's for sure.
It's a little overthrown.
I actually don't like this scheming. They keep running the same wheel route like motion wheel, and I think Virginia just sees it coming.
Stagnant,
yeah, and I think that Cam's got a better option here with number 11 over the middle.
Right.
For sure. This again looks like it's a cover 1 man because 4 is going to follow 11 across the field, so that would indicate that it's man coverage with a single high safety. So yes, obviously, in theory, you're going to have the outside open and one-on-one coverage. However, these route concepts are doing nobody any favors, and I don't know. They're sitting on it. They see it coming.
Yeah, he's got to pull that trigger on the middle on that crosser.
Yeah, I like the crosser.
Kind of a bad throw.
Yeah, let's see what went wrong there.
He tries to get it around that pass rusher, ended up like throwing it behind him, so his receiver had to kind of turn around.
I just think that play was blown up, though.
Yeah, it was. There was really no shot.
He hasn't had a lot of open. Well, I wouldn't say that. He's had some open receivers, but I haven't loved the play calls in general. On this play, I would say this is a coverage sack, I guess. Does he get sacked? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a coverage sack. Let's see this one.
Man, he has taken a lot of shots.
Yeah, but a lot of these route concepts are all downfield. They're not even trying to set a lot of people open short. So, but once again, he's seeing a lot of single high safeties, and that's when you want to attack the sidelines. You want to go to the boundary with these routes. However, I think, again, when we're talking about the offensive line, sure, it's breaking down compared to what we were seeing yesterday or 2 days ago with Shador, and Milroe, we saw some good offensive line performances in those games, but this is an NFL pocket, and he should know Restrepo in man coverage is your guy out of the slot. You should hit him, and he breaks open here. Restrepo does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Restrepo ran a nasty route there.
I like him. I think Restrepo's a guy we should break down individually.
Yeah, and we certainly could. But we'll just say on that route from Restrepo, he breaks open, and again, I want to emphasize this isn't necessarily a bad read. You've got a single high safety. You've got man coverage. It's one-on-one on the outside. This is a good time to throw the back shoulder ball, but you're talking about a far hash throw, probably a 50-yard throw, back shoulder that needs to be perfect accuracy. When you have man coverage in the slot, this ball should go to Restrepo every freaking time.
Yeah. Yep. To address one of the comments in the Alex Sanders so far, one of the takes that I had, Anthony and I were talking about a couple days ago, is that I think that Sanders will have a better rookie season than Cam Ward, because I think that Sanders is better, is going to be better at adjusting to an NFL scheme because he already works in one on day one. His upside isn't as high as Cam Ward, but his floor, I think, is immediately higher. That's kind of the take where I find myself. I think Cam Ward will be better long-term, but I think Sanders is going to be better as a rookie.
I do agree with that. And that was something that I said about McCarthy last year, because he played in a pro-style offense. I thought that he was situated to, if he had a rookie season, perform pretty well in that rookie season. But, Shador Sanders, same thing. He's played in Pat Shurmur's pro-style offense, so I think that he's going to have a pretty good rookie year. So let's break down this play, because this is one where he forces the ball into a really tight window. And I'm going to say this is a pure anticipation throw, and it's a tough throw, and he does put it in that window. But I think Restrepo sits down not expecting that ball to come in there because it's not really open. That's a very tight window throw. This is like one of those, you are trusting your arm more than anybody with a throw like this. but he's got a wide open guy in the flat. So I think he's passing up what the defense is giving him. I think he's passing up these plays where he can have easy, quick passes to gain yards after the catch for arm throws. And that's his hero ball. That's what that's Cam Ward's flaw. I don't think this is necessarily a bad throw because if you look at it from the tight angle, this is actually lasered in there. And I think if the receiver, runs into that zone, this could definitely be a completion. But it's too risky when you've got a guy wide open in the flat. Just take what the defense gives you.
It looks like, I was going to say turd hauler. It does seem as though Virginia Tech realized we're just going to play his deep routes and we're just going to leave his flat options wide open because he's literally just not looking at them. Again, that's the same play.
And once again, you've got a pre-snap read versus a post-snap read. There's two safeties in the middle of the field, so you assume middle field open. Usually when you've got two deep safeties, it's a cover two, so they kind of spread out and the middle field becomes open. But that doesn't necessarily come to fruition here because this defensive back ends up dropping into that coverage as well, and they just basically sit. So you got to read that post-snap and know, okay, I got to throw my check down here in the flat.
Yep. Yeah, it's tough. So now he's starting to take at least a shorter concept, easier throw, at least right here. Restrepo's probably about to get really involved. It's a nice route.
Sick route by Restrepo.
Yeah, it's a great
little whip route.
I would not hate him in the third round. I don't know where he's going to go. But if he was there in the third, I would absolutely take him. He would probably beat Wan'Dale Robinson for the starting job. I'm so serious.
Yeah, maybe. You're not necessarily off base with that take. I want to see because I think Restrepo once again I think that's covered with number 4 there. That'd be a really tough throw. So he takes off. I think this is a fine decision.
Yep. Again, he can pick up yards on the ground. He's a sneaky good athlete. Like he can run.
The problem with Cam is the highs are so high and the lows are so low.
Yeah. He is volatile. He needs to play under a lot more structure. That was Josh Allen's problem, right? Like it was he needs to be under a lot of structure. The offense he goes to needs to allow him to learn how to be an NFL quarterback. Right now he's playing like a college quarterback. Like I'm going to hit the home runs all the time and everything else doesn't matter. In this game specifically, of course, this is only the first game, but it's a tough throw.
Yeah, this is obviously another interception here. So I'm going to say, though, that I think maybe this was some sort of a miscommunication because, again, single high. So if this it looks like cover 1 man, 4 sticking with 11. So I'm going to call this a man coverage. But maybe it's a cover 3. Either way, you like the seams against a single high. You like to throw up the seams. And I do think that the seam is open here, but there seems to be some sort of route mix-up because Restrepo just turns around and runs away from the open area. And I'm not exactly sure what happened there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of miscommunications in this game so far on the receiver side.
There's been a couple. I don't know, but and then again, like you've got this guy breaking over the middle, but with that deep safety, you can't really take that throw. Maybe you come back to this one breaking over the middle underneath might be the option. But this throw, I mean, this is a bad decision. And it's also looked like there was some sort of miscommunication. But again, I think that the more we've watched this film, I've seen a lot of flaws here with Ward predetermining where he's going with the ball and
too risky.
He's just too risky. His first read.
Yeah, he's just so risky in nature, and that will be a problem. And that's why I think as a rookie, he's going to struggle compared to Sanders.
Yeah, I think there's a problem in this game in particular with him locking into that first read.
It feels like he doesn't trust a lot of his other receivers at times.
He's definitely been trying to feed his boy Restrepo, but I can't blame him. Restrepo is a good player.
Good, he got through his reads nicely here.
Yeah, much better. I think that was his third read. So
I just love how he can throw from different angles and off balance. Like that quickness, his ability to just throw from any situation is a major plus. And when he's under pressure, he can let it fly quickly. He should have taken that deep. Oh, the pressure was there.
Yeah, I think he just got hit on that one. and that disrupted his throw, but I can't really tell where he was going with the ball. It's really tough.
I think he was going deep. If you look at the wide angle, he had a guy deep over the middle that was wide open.
This guy, Restrepo, or are you talking about this one?
Well,
they're both open. Either one is open.
Either one doesn't even matter.
I would say this one is the single coverage, and that one's the double coverage.
That's where I think he was going the single coverage because he was looking that way. I think he was trying to throw that thing with anticipation over the top.
Yeah, I think you're right. He was definitely looking to the left sideline.
Was that caught?
It might have been.
It's a punt, dude. What the hell?
Yeah, that's a great heads-up play by that receiver. That receiver saved his ass on that one. And here I would say that his mechanics got away from him on this one with the pressure on this tight end screen. Also, just generally don't like tight end screens unless you have Brock Bowers, Travis Kelce, or George Kittle.
Yeah, it's designed well. This is poorly designed.
I mean, it's open. He's got a convoy of blockers in front of him.
Can't miss this throw.
Yeah, there isn't much of a lane here, but if we're talking about how much we like his arm slots, pick the right arm slot and get this ball accurately because there's a lot of room to run here. So I would throw that one on Cam.
Yeah.
Put the blame on him for that one.
He's fast, man. Dude, he can move.
He's sneaky athletic. He is sneaky athletic.
Like he is significantly better runner than Sanders, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. But I want to say this play and kind of the plays that we just saw. Are you not getting the Dak Prescott vibes? Like Dak has this athleticism.
I think he's a bit more mobile than Dak.
I would say now, but remember Dak pre his leg snapping from Logan Ryan, like rookie Dak was running. He can move. He was a good runner. This looks Greg says good decision, and I agree. It looks like everybody's covered up here, and he just navigates his pocket and runs through. So, and he makes a guy miss. So that's a good one.
The interesting thing about Cam is like he's going to make a ton of mistakes, but he's still going to somehow score like 25 plus a game. Like that's kind of the player he's been. It's kind of strange, but he'll score in bursts. Like he'll get hot. Fourth quarter, wasn't his numbers in the fourth quarter something ridiculous? Like wasn't he like absolutely insane in the fourth quarter?
He's got that clutch factor. But yeah, I think this one, he's reading deep. He sees the safety rotating over. He actually this time decides, okay, let me come back to my check down, and he makes a good decision.
Finally,
here.
I think this may be the start when he started to it's kind of the end of the game or getting there. But
there's probably a full quarter left, the 3 minutes of film.
They're starting to realize, like, all right, they're literally just they're covering everything deep. We need to take these easy yards. You got to hit that throw.
There's a guy in his throwing lane, so it's a tougher throw than it should be. Poor protection, free rusher on the right side. They don't pick it up. But that could also arguably be on Cam for not recognizing the blitzer. But the timing is good. This ball is coming out at the right time to hit this curl route. I also think it's a lazy route.
Yeah, it does.
And I also think it might be miscommunication because receiver runs curl, meaning he runs towards the inside of the field. Instead of comeback. Cam throws comeback rather than curl. I think it should have been a comeback to the boundary. You see what I mean? So
yeah, that was a bad route though, as well.
It was a bad route, and I think it was also the wrong route. I think he was supposed to run that thing towards the sideline rather than in break.
He'll take the space, man. He'll take the space. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you got the legs and,
he's got a good balance, I will say, of like when he decides to throw and when he decides to run. Like he has a good feel on like what the right decision for that is.
That was a freaking laser right there. Anticipatory throw too. And that's a tight window throw.
The thing is a heat-seeking missile coming through that. Absolute look how fast this thing comes in.
I'm going to tell you exactly why he gets that ball through there so fast. It's all the hips, man. He generates so much lower body. Just watch his lower body and how much power he generates so much power from his lower body into his arm. It's such a married throwing motion. It's just
when it's on target, the thing whizzes in there. But when it's this gives me like Brett Favre vibes when he used to like break Donald Driver's hands with his throws.
Yeah. I'll say the footwork here is lazy. I know that we've kind of mentioned that a couple times. He clicks his feet like twice. Like you got to clean that up. I mean, watch his clicks foot again, and then I mean, he gets into a good base and he generates all that power with his hips, but you got to clean up the feet. Eli Manning used to have bad feet though too. Eli used to trip over himself all the time in the
all the
pocket,
time.
but so it's not like the end all be all. But yeah, NYCE comments throwing mechanics appear a bit off. His feet are off. That's what it is. But his hip movement, and he also throws sidearm, like he just has a sideways
Yeah.
release. So does Josh Allen though. So it's not like, and so did Phillip Rivers. Like there are quarterbacks who throw a little bit sidearm and it's fine, but the feet are something that will disrupt your timing and cause you to miss throws. So
It caused him to sail a lot.
Yeah, that too. So that's the thing in his mechanics that he needs to clean up. But his hips, he's got that down to a T. Like his hips are really, really good.
Eli would trip, but he would never fall. I don't know, man. I saw Eli fall a couple times.
I will never forget. I've mentioned it a few times on this channel. I'll never forget against, I think it was the Panthers, the last game in Giant Stadium. I think it was when Eli slid. He like tripped, slid, and threw a pass with his left hand, and it was an interception in the end zone. Oh my God, dude.
Again, Cam taking off running.
I love
He has
Eli.
a lot of running yards in this game. What the hell?
All right, here he's throwing.
Just run this dude. Just take off.
He's throwing with. Okay, so this is a miscommunication. That's what this is. Yes, you're right. He should have taken off. However, he clearly thinks that this receiver is running a slant and this receiver is running a corner. It might have been an option route, totally possible. But yeah, look at him. He sits there.
His
and he's
receivers
like,
have let him down quite often.
Yeah, he sits here and he's like, why didn't you run that slant route? So I think that it's actually a really good play design, though, to bunch everybody up and create that one-on-one coverage. You just have to have good communication on that. But yeah, I agree. Just run it in. It's a great throw. Yep. A lot of touch on that one.
So calm too. And when he sees it, I mean, that's a over the linebacker right there.
It's a layered
throw. It's beautiful. Might be a DB. I think it's a linebacker. It's beautiful. Nowhere else to put it but there. He's very, very reactive. Like when he sees what he likes, the ball's coming out. Like he will not hesitate. And I like that about him, but it does get him into trouble sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, this is a great throw because what I love about this is a lot of quarterbacks sometimes get mixed up when they see this defender here. You know, they're like, okay, so that zone is closed. But he's able to read behind that defender and recognize there's space behind him. There's nobody. This is the backmost defender. So if I put this ball up and over, there is space for the receiver. He can read that kind of zone. Like he can read the coverage holes. And it's a really, really good ball here. And again, it's when you hear the buzzword layered throws. This is a layered throw where you're reading the layers of the defense and putting it where it needs to be. Really like that throw.
Let's see. No. Tough. His offensive line, a lot of people say it was really, really good. It's been inconsistent at times in this game.
Yep. This is a free play. He takes the shot.
Nice. I don't know if
picks up some yards. Nice.
I think so.
Well, maybe, but either way, I will say I love his ability to. They've gotten them with this hard count or whatever it was a few times, but I do really like how he spins out here and keeps the play alive. Again, just very cool and calm.
So natural. I mean, that thing he flicks that thing like 30 yards. It's a great
throw on the run.
Excellent. Yep. He's, when it comes to like the creativity and the superhero, like, making something out of nothing plays, there's no one better in this draft class for sure.
Yeah, I think he's getting more comfortable towards the tail end of this film in this game. I'm not sure what went wrong here.
I have no idea.
That flat route was open. I can't really tell what went wrong on this one. I don't know if he sailed it or if he didn't trust it or what, but what the?
I think Restrepo slipped.
Yeah, he catches it on the ground, though. That's crazy. Yes, he slips. That's the right read, though. And the timing is perfect on this ball because it comes out really quick, like while he's breaking. Had he not slipped and just caught this thing in stride, I mean, he could legitimately turn that into a touchdown because that ball was timed so well on the throw. But he slips, and my God, what a catch.
Again, Restrepo, very, very impressive. Oh, it's Jesus. Ridiculous. That's nuts, man.
Laying down, making that catch is crazy. Yeah, this is a good ball. This is, again, You've got the single high safety. You've got one-on-one on the outside. And he clearly had some sort of tip that it's man coverage. I love this outside fade release from number 2, and then he breaks it into a slant over the middle, and the ball is really well timed. Good throw. Yeah, see how he's just one step and then quick drop and throw? Great timing. All right, then.
Did he just catch that? What the hell is happening?
That looked like a chest pass in basketball from Cam
What
Ward.
was that?
He broke 2 defenders. Contact balance is good.
Looks like Lamar right there.
He chest passed it. It's a basketball play.
Like, again, the plays like this make some of his mistakes like you don't even care about it. You don't even care about some of the stuff he does that's like kind of like head scratching. But like stuff like that where he turns what should be a loss of 10 into an almost touchdown is like, yeah, we can live with that. We can live with the randomness of his game sometimes.
Yeah, well, I'll say on this play, this is the classic Kansas City Chiefs goal line, misdirection, get that guy. This is what they scored on with Kadarius Toney in that Super Bowl. This is literally the same play. So this is a pro-style play that you see from the best offenses in the league, and it's literally just as easy as catch the snap and make the throw, and he does. Perfect. I just love that play design, though. Chiefs run that all the time. It's so hard to defend against man coverage.
Yep. Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole film.
This is a mixed bag in this game for sure. We saw every flaw from Cam Ward in this game, and we also saw all of the high upside traits that he possesses.
The highs are really high. The lows are really low. And that's what you get with him. And that's what you get with Jordan Love. And that's what you get with Dak Prescott. He's in that vein of quarterback for me.
Yep. All you need him to do is have a really, really high 4 games in the playoffs.
Yeah. Should I pull up a second game?
Let's talk about this really quickly, though, just before we look at it, because I think like that game itself warranted a bit of a discussion. Thinking about Cam before and after watching this game, we can talk about like our thoughts before and after. I think before I went into this game, I figured we were going to see a lot of home runs. We were going to see some mistakes. We were going to see a lot of polarizing nature in his game. What did the score of this game end up being? Do we know? Miami versus, what was it? Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
They won this game 38-34. So it was a really close game. And like Cam had a lot of mistakes and they still put up 38. And of course, I'm sure there was some rushing touchdowns as well on this one. I do think I'm a bit more concerned with Cam's like decision-making after this game than I was before. I know it's just one game and it was one of the worst games for what it's worth, but I definitely cements my opinion though, that Sanders is going to be a better rookie than Cam because of that decision-making. But if Cam figures out how to avoid unnecessary risks, if Cam figures out how to take what defenses are giving him, operate in a West Coast kind of style, but also take those shots and be his explosive self, he's going to be a monster, right? And what I will say is Cam has gotten better every single season, right? He's gotten better in those things. The one thing I loved about Jaden Daniels was that every year he got better, but Jaden Daniels was going into the NFL a much more polished product than Cam Ward because he did not turn the ball over. He did not make poor decision-making like we saw from Cam. I don't think Cam is a trade-up option. I don't think any quarterback in this draft class is someone I would trade up for. But if he was there at 3, I would take him because of the upside, but he's going to need work. He's going to have to sit behind a quarterback like a Russell Wilson. Actually, I think is a good person to have him sit behind because he can learn how to operate in structure, not always bail and try to do crazy things. Like he's going to need the right situation. I think that our offense with the Giants and Dable actually lends itself well to his style. I just think he doesn't take what defenses give him, and that's going to hurt him in the NFL at times.
So one thing that you said that I want to respond to, I would trade up for Cam Ward. He's a quarterback that I think the high upside is so high that you are willing to sacrifice some extra capital and trade up and grab him. That's just me personally. I think that he really does have like all pro potential if he puts it together, at least Pro Bowl potential. I mean, if you think that the floor, let's just use this as an example. If I think the floor for Cam Ward is a Jordan Love, I'd trade up for Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love he gets you to the playoffs. I mean, let's see once Jordan Love gets some real talent in his receiving core, what he can do throughout the rest of his career. But he's still young, growing, and ascending. But to that point, if we're talking about Jordan Love as a comparison for Cam Ward, well, Jordan Love sat for 3 years before he took over as a starter. And Cam Ward, I do believe, needs a lot of work. And I don't necessarily think that he needs to sit and get all that work. I don't think he needs to sit behind Russ for a full season or anything. I think it would help him. But I also think that you could look at it as he just needs to work. He needs to grow and develop. And some of them learn on the fly like Josh Allen did. Josh Allen didn't start his week 1 rookie season. He took over midway through the year. But then from then on, it was about 2 years of him just kind of like, running around and figuring it out and learning how to play the game. And eventually he learned it. And now he's arguably the best passing quarterback in the NFL. But I'm not saying that Cam Ward's going to be Josh Allen, but I'm saying maybe he learns on the fly like Josh Allen did. Maybe he doesn't need to sit for a very long time. Maybe he just sits for a little bit and then goes out there and then, just learns from his mistakes and failures, because sometimes it's live game reps and experience that are going to make a quarterback better. I don't know if the New York Giants are going to properly foster that development, but I think a team absolutely can turn Cam Ward into something special with the right developmental plan.
Yeah, I agree with that. What I see between him and Sanders, at least so far, the fundamental differences in how their footwork operates, how they operate, and just in progressions and awareness, they're so different in like almost every way. Like Sanders, I think fundamentally is 100% more refined, but I think in terms of Ward, he's just so like, he's able to do things that no other quarterback can do in this draft class because of how inconsistent his fundamentals are. But if he was able to marry those two things, like better fundamentals, better structure, better like leaning on technique, and also mesh that with his style of play, he's going to be a monster. Like he's going to be a freaking monster. The question I have is, is he willing to go in that direction? Or is he willing to does he want to learn how to be a more structured quarterback and lean on those or is he just like, I want to play this style, right? And I want to, this is my brand. I don't want to change that. I wonder.
Some teams might build around that though. Some teams are willing to build around it. So
controlled chaos, man. I'll
say though, the more that I watch Sanders and the more that I watch Ward, the closer that I think they are in some respects. And then in other respects, the further they are apart. Again, this is why I'm very happy we're doing this series and watching these games live, because I think there is so much to dive into with these guys, and there's so much to pick apart and so much nuance to the quarterback position. I think we're going to have a lot of, differing opinions and changed opinions where we are now by the time we get to April, as we continue to watch these guys on these live streams. So I'm very curious to see where we end up on them. But again, I think this game was a perfect one. Alex did pick this one, so he's picked all of them so far. I'll pick the next batch. Once we go through the second round of the quarterbacks, I'll pick them. But this one, I think it was a perfect one that you selected, Alex, because it really did encapsulate the highs and the lows of Cam Ward and the extremes of each and the middling of each. So it was totally. a good analysis film.
Yeah, and I'll say this, like when he's like, we're just watching him, his game is so interesting. His game is so interesting because when he's on and he's hitting his guys, there's no one that can stop him. Like I genuinely don't think there's any defense that can stop Cam when he's on his game and he's making these crazy throws. But they adjusted to that offense pretty nicely, and they just started giving up short routes and just covering the deep concepts. And Cam was passing them. He didn't want to throw the short stuff. In his mind, he wants to hit home runs every single play. And you can see it in his eyes. You can see it in the way he plays. He wants to hit a 20-plus yard throw on every single play. And that will have to be more controlled in the NFL. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So, the offense they ran at Miami was not really pro style. It was a very aired out at times. The throws he makes are pro throws, though. He makes NFL throws. The scheme, though, is not realistic for the NFL. And I do think that that's going to be something that will take some time to adjust. I do think that will take a season. It'll take a whole year. And that's so okay with me, dude. I am so freaking okay with that taking 2 years. If in 3 years from now, Cam Ward and we're in the playoffs and we're competing and contending, I don't give a shit about 2 years of development. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm fine with that.
I mean, listen, however long it takes, I'm with it.
Gave DJ 6.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I don't know though, because I am pretty steadfast in my belief that if the quarterback doesn't prove it after about 2 seasons, you just draft another one if you're picking high enough. But that's a whole different. That's like an ideological thing. Like I'm like, if you're picking high, just take the quarterback. But I want to add some context to Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders since we're obviously going to be comparing them throughout the offseason. So, Alex, this might be a little bit eye-opening for you. Cam Ward never had a season with a less than 3.1% turnover-worthy play percentage, according to PFF. His lowest was this past season at 3.1%. Right. Shedeur Sanders, for comparison, threw a 1.2% turnover-worthy throw rate in 2024 and never had one higher than 2.3. And in fact, he went from 2.3 to 2.0 to 1.6 to 1.2. So he actually decreased his turnover-worthy throw rate every single year. Cam Ward did have his kind of fluctuate throughout the years, but pretty much always hang around 3.5 and then finally finish this past season at 3.1. But also, I think that it's important to note his average depth of target this year was 9.8 yards, which is a very high mark compared to 8.1 yards for Shedeur Sanders. So again, we're talking about a guy who is always looking to push the ball downfield. He did hit 5.7% big time throw rate, 28 big time throws, which is those 20 plus yard, like really tough, tight window throws. So there again is a lot of highs in this statistical equation as well for Cam Ward, but you can also see the lows and how throughout the years, I don't think you're going to see much progression and change in that turnover prone kind of factor. I think you're probably Cam is what he is in that regard. He's just always going to be a gunslinger who turns the ball over. And you just have to decide whether or not you want to live with that. And me personally, I much prefer a quarterback that does turn the ball over, but also make big plays. I mean, how many times did I say it during the season, Alex? I missed watching Giants quarterbacks throw interceptions when they were trying to make something happen. Because Daniel Jones was so conservative, so safe.
Throwing won 2 Super Bowls, amount of interceptions.
Won 2 Super Bowls and led the NFL in interceptions 3 times. That's everything that I need to know about a franchise quarterback. They throw picks and they're not afraid to throw picks.
Even
and that's
Stafford
why I
has
do
games
like
that.
Ward.
Even Stafford has games where he'll throw multiple interceptions.
So does Dak.
So does Dak, definitely.
He's so Dak, dude. He's so Dak to me. Like I can't. He's so Dak Prescott to me.
Yeah, I think for the most part, like, I mean, we could throw in another clip if you want. I think looking at these games, Duke is an interesting one. He had a really good game, only a 61% completion rate, but 400 yards and 5 touchdowns and interception. Louisville, he dominated. California dominated. Syracuse dominated.
I want to throw this stat out there just to continue driving my propaganda and making my comparison. Cam Ward career big time throw rate 4%, turnover worthy throw rate 3.4%. Dak Prescott career big time throw rate 4.3%, 3.0 turnover worthy play percentage. They're literally almost identical in those stats. And again, I just think that they're very similar players. So if you think that Dak Prescott's playing style is something that you like, I would say that playing style is what Cam Ward possesses. And you have to understand that the Cowboys live and die by how Dak Prescott plays on any given Sunday. And that would be the exact same scenario with Cam Ward. You're going to live and die by him.
I think Cam's going to take even more home run shots, though, than Dak by a pretty fair margin.
Dak takes a lot of he throws a lot of deep balls, man.
He does.
He throws his shots.
But Cam's like, well, regardless, we'll see one day. We'll see next year what in the future. But let's throw on a couple more minutes of another game. Let's look at Let's look at the Duke game, because I know that somebody else. Oh, Jackson Dart also had maybe that was Kentucky.
Jackson Dart played against Duke in his bowl
game.
Oh, did.
And I think he had a pretty good game, if I'm not mistaken.
He lit him up.
He lit him up.
Incredible game. I watched that one.
Booty. So maybe not the worst. Maybe not the best one to look how good. But let's look at the upside of Cam Ward, because you've already looked at all the bad. Let's see him tear apart Duke, because they seemed like a very friendly defense this past season.
Right. Make sure you fix our background and make it all pretty.
I got it. All right, let's see. Blending into the field. I love it. Nice. Getting through his progressions, but a drop.
I think he's a little late on that throw.
Yeah, probably.
A little late getting into that window. I think if he hits it sooner, he could hit the receiver there and make it an easier reception attempt, but I do think it's a good read. There's obviously a window here. This ball should be thrown right now, probably right on this hash, and it's just a little bit late.
So he's so like when he does decide to throw it though, thing comes out. Like there's no stopping it. He does not care.
His hips move, his feet don't. Like he does have footwork problems to me. He clacked his heels once again on this play. You can't be doing that.
It's a crazy. Oh, okay, that was not a catch, but off his back foot.
It was not a good throw. I mean,
yeah.
This ball needs to come out so much quicker.
So
this should have been a huge gain right here.
Should have been a home run. Yeah, I think floats up there for a decade. Look at that mobility though.
What were his stats in this game? Do you know?
Yeah. Against Duke, he put up a crispy 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and an interception.
What were his PFF stats in this game? If you could pull those up and tell me what
do you mean by
his big time throw rate and his turnover worthy play percentage?
His turnover worthy was 4.4%.
That's high.
Really high.
Much higher than you want to see. But what was his big time throw rate?
Big time throw rate. What is that?
BTT.
It was 2.4%. Sorry, that was against Wake Forest. It was 7.1%. So he was.
Okay, that's really high. 7% is high.
But he was also risky in this one. He knew that this defense was
confirm he had you said a 5% turnover rate?
4.1%.
Yeah, that's high too, though.
Or 4.4, sorry. 4.4 turnover worthy play percentage, 7.1% big time throw percentage. So he knew that he was going to light this defense up.
Yeah, well, he does on this play. This is a great throw. And listen, he's going through his reads here, his progressions. He's got 1-2 reads right there. Okay, none of them have leverage, and there's a zone defender, or whatever he is. Let's get back to the backside dig, and he throws a backside dig. The backside dig is what you want to see college quarterbacks throw because a lot of them really struggle to throw the backside dig. He gets there, and he throws a really good ball here and almost takes off the head of the official.
That's a nice – do you see how quickly he gets through his reads, though? That's really encouraging to me. That's what I want to see.
On that play, yeah, and in this game so far, I would say that's one play where he did, but the earlier one, I thought he was late. So
that was a bad throw.
It's just a bad block from the receiver on the screen. There's nothing you can do there.
I think he should lead him inside, though, on that throw.
So let me ask you this, though, because I'm pretty steadfast. I have been since Washington State film. This guy's wide open. Did he get it there in time? Okay, sort of.
I mean, this is the throw. I think it hits his hand or it tips into him or something like that.
Yeah, it did. It got tipped.
Oh, that's crazy. What a catch.
So, all right, but let me ask you this before I play this through, and I know we want to be quick, so my fault. But the question, my comp for him is Dak. What's your comp for him and Shedeur right now? And I know we're early, so it's not a final decision or anything, but do you have any players that ring to mind for both of those guys? I saw somebody say yesterday Brock Purdy for Shedeur, and I don't hate that.
I don't hate that either.
I think their body types are different, but I don't hate the playing style comparison. I also want to highlight on this play for Cam, this is very Caleb Williams-esque in the pocket where he stays in the pocket and breaks free and then throws one downfield. So, but yeah, if you have some comps, just feel free to throw them out because
I think I mean for Shedeur, I kind of said like a more mobile Kirk Cousins. I liked how controlled he was and very, very fundamentalistic those two guys are. But he's a little bit more mobile than Kirk because Kirk is literally a statue. Shedeur, I do believe, is quite more mobile than Kirk, but I do think his upside as a passer is around prime Kirk Cousins-esque. I also think Geno Smith is a really good comp for Shedeur Sanders. I think better version of Geno is the peak capacity for Sanders. When it comes to Cam Ward, it's a tough one, man. Cam Ward is a very unique player. He plays like he has the temperament of Russell Wilson and the decisiveness of Russell Wilson, but the mobility and the kind of tweakiness in the pocket of Mahomes. I love his pocket mobility is very much Mahomes, his ability to buy time, but his arm, I wouldn't say his arm is similar to Russell Wilson because I think Russell Wilson had one of the best deep balls in the history of the game. But Cam's got zip on those passes. Dak is a good one. His arm talent, I think, is similar to Dak, I will say.
The homework that I'm going to send you, Just go watch Dak Prescott rookie season highlights, and I think you'll see exactly what I'm saying. Because I think a lot of when I say Dak, people are thinking of current Dak. Look at rookie season Dak, and you're going to see it. His escapability in the pocket, too. This is a good throw, too.
So quick, man. He's when he decides, the fundamentals go like he's so quick to get rid of the ball.
That's a decent comp from MJ in the chat. Says Ben Roethlisberger. That's not a bad one.
A little bit more mobile, Ben. Maybe young Ben. Young Ben.
Ben was pretty mobile, and I think he ran about a 5-second flat 40-yard dash, which is what I think. Yeah, Cam is like a 4.9 projection. So
big body. Remember how big Ben Roethlisberger used to look in the pocket? Just
guy
massive.
Was built like a shit brick house if anybody ever was.
Dude was sitting at Chipotle for like 3 years before going to the NFL. My goodness.
Is Chipotle even a thing in 2001?
I don't think they charge more for guac anymore, if that helps.
No, I don't think that answers my question quite a bit.
I don't know. But I know Starbucks is not charging more for alternative milks. That's about all I know about Starbucks.
Starbucks is also no longer allowing people to loiter. They used to have an open door policy. Now you have to be a paying customer.
Interesting.
Yep. Don't know why we're sharing these fun facts and information, but
we're now 10 minutes in. This is what happens. It's like feels like I'm just been drinking wine this whole time, watching film of Cam Ward.
That sounds fun. Maybe one of these times we should do a
drunk stream.
A drunk stream. Drink along and watch the film. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah. How about you guys want to do that? We can all come in and have a beverage of choice and just watch film on quarterbacks together.
I'm sad and seated for that.
That honestly sounds like a good time. I'm down. Random Tuesday afternoon. That's fine.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll pick a day.
Kill the cheerleader on
that. I'll say he's definitely creating some time for himself in this game. He's under a lot of pressure, and he's just running around and making things happen. So,
yep, he's taking a lot more checkdowns in this game.
There is demand in the chat for the drunk stream. I think we're gonna have to deliver.
All right, a couple Guinness cans. I'm in for it. Designed run cam. I love it.
Yeah, QB draw. Does a somersault over somebody. That was cool.
He's going to take some hits, but at least he's got a body. He's not going to like ragdoll like Jaden Daniels, my freaking goat.
This is a great, fantastic play. This is the one that I needed to see from him, where he extends the play, plays this hero in the pocket, and then just comes back to the check down. That's what we needed to see if he can do. Because oftentimes he does this. He runs around, he buys time, sits in the pocket, and then he just throws it downfield. This time he takes a check down. That's what I needed to see.
Yep. Agreed.
MJ says Shador's floor is Kirk Cousins and his ceiling is Joe Burrow. I don't hate that, but I think with so. Joe Burrow has a stronger arm, and it would take a big leap in terms of arm strength and growth from Shador.
Also, Joe Burrow has just elite processing ability. Elite.
I think Shador is on his way to getting to elite processing.
I need to see him do it against NFL talent first.
Well. Yeah, for sure. And it would have been nice if he did it against SEC talent. But I mean, MJ's not the first to make that comparison, and I'm not making that comparison either. But like a one-to-one comparison. But I do think that his processing is so good, Shador. If he can continue on the trajectory that he's on and get in the right situation, I don't think he gets to Joe Burrow's level, because Joe Burrow is like an absolute freak. When he's playing at the top of his game, he is the best player in the NFL. I don't know if Shador gets there, but I get the comparison. I'm trying to say that I see where he's coming from.
Like to say that prime Kirk Cousins was freaking so underrated. People do not remember how bad the team around him was at times. With the Vikings, and I mean, the Vikings had a horrible defense. They were putting up so many points the year that the Giants beat them.
No, that's for sure. I always thought that Kirk was underrated. So what have we seen him throw? One of his 5, you said? He had 5 touchdowns in this game? I think we've seen 1.
Yep.
And we're kind of letting him play through, so that's a good throw over the middle. I like that. He's thrown a couple of nice balls over the middle in this one. It's important to see a college quarterback
so fast, dude. Look how fast his hips get into the right position. Incredible speed.
I'd be willing to bet he's trained with someone on his hips specifically, because he really has a feel for how to generate that torque. Maybe he played golf. I don't know. I wonder if he's a golfer.
I do think in terms of his hip style, like we saw similar stuff from Sanders. Like he had good hip placement and movement there. Like it wasn't.
All right, this play, I'm going to say this is a great throw. This should have been caught, in my opinion. It's a really tough, tight window throw, and I can't believe he even gets it in there in time, but he does, and that should have been caught. This play reminds me so much of Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah. Maybe
This is
Baker's not the
so
worst.
Baker.
Maybe Baker,
Baker might not be the worst comp.
Yeah,
but there's a size difference because Cam's built. He's built.
Yeah.
He's tall.
Baker plays bigger than
always
he is, though.
Yeah, he's larger than life, that guy. I love
He
Baker
is.
Mayfield, dude.
I
And that's a
think
really
Baker's
good throw. That's a tight
for-
window throw.
Didn't even think about Baker. Big Bake. Shout out Ryan.
Shout out Ray guy. Shout out Fireside Yankees. Go check it out, guys. That's a great catch. Oh my god.
Sick. Did he catch it? Because I know the DB's saying he dropped it, of course, but
DB's always gonna say that shit. I hate
of course,
DBs.
of course.
It's a good throw too. Back shoulder when you know you've got one-on-one coverage on the outside. You can't lead him inside because there is a safety. It's a really good throw.
Pause NYC.
I think he caught it.
18. I'm telling all my friends he said that. I want that cannon.
Yo, what?
He said that stays in the chat.
That's good. That's good. Our community is so funny. I don't know if I love that read.
That's a risky ass throw, bro. Holy, I mean, that outside corner reads that.
Yeah,
holy,
it's a
crap.
great play by the cornerback here. I think he probably could have layered it over top, but you know what? It's good timing. So when the ball's on time, sometimes you can put it in those tight windows.
Facts.
Especially when you've got a laser like that.
Big facts. Restrepo.
Now, I will say that I'm just going to shout out the chat because I laugh so much every time we live stream. Chat is so funny on our channel.
Yeah, shout out chat. We love
chat. Chat's always.
Thank you for spending a Friday afternoon with us, watching Cam for an hour and 20 minutes.
Love you guys.
Nice.
Who is this slow ass receiver? Is that a tight end? Yeah, it's a tight end.
Okay, thank
God.
Something.
I was gonna say it better not be a receiver that slow.
He's a big guy though.
Big
Kool-Aid
dude.
works. Kool-Aid works, bud. Drink whatever you please.
Yeah. Hey man. We enjoy a good mocktail in this house.
I'm trying to think of a bad player I can drink bleach for.
Daniel Jones.
Anyone in this? I've already drunk my fair share of bleach, dude. My organs are failing at this point. We like it. We like this. We'll take it. Just take the yards underneath.
We had an angry receiver in the end zone. Let's figure out why. This receiver thinks he was open, but he wasn't.
Not even close.
Oh, maybe he was just pointing. I think he was just pointing first down, actually,
okay.
or something. I might not be the best body language expert according to my ex-girlfriend. So I like this throw. I think it's a good decision underneath. Take the check down.
Take it.
Little drag route.
Yeah, nice job processing there. Finding an open guy.
Strepo took a little hit to the head. He's all right though. Rope.
Dime.
Great throw.
Dime.
I saw that break open. I was like, please hit it.
Yep, I saw that too.
Wow, that was like
absolute freaking
nonchalant throw I've ever seen in my life.
Baskin Robbins type of throw,
dude. It's like he's not even trying. Look at how nonchalant this is. But look at the hips, dude. The movement, so good. But just
everything is perfect there. Everything.
Yeah.
When he's got time in, he's very accurate. Very, very accurate. It's when he gets rushed that he starts to lose, break down his fundamentals at times.
Yep. All right, yeah. Let's run 5 yards backwards. Oh, I take it back.
How about you don't speak until the play is finished?
Yeah, my fault.
Sir.
My fault.
Damn. That's nice.
Play.
Off back foot. Oh, hit this. Did he catch that?
Looks like it. It's a good throw. I think he passed up a much easier throw for that one too. But
that thing sails.
Oh,
he dropped it.
All right, I'm gonna say I think that he I think he should have taken this one-on-one coverage on the bottom of the screen on this slant route, but it's a little bit of a slow release. So maybe, I don't know. I think he's just trying to read this coverage. Yeah, he's trying to read the safety, and I think he feels as though Restrepo's got this double move. And honestly, he does. He's off his back foot because he gets hit.
Pressure,
I think if he doesn't have pressure, he probably puts this thing out there for a touchdown. But at the same time, number 2 was pretty wide open.
Dude, anytime he sees Restrepo in man coverage or there's no safety help, he's taking a shot. Like there's literally no chance. And I love that because if Neighbors is in man coverage and there's no safety help, absolutely take the freaking shot every time.
True.
Every time.
Or whoever the Titans' top receiver is. I don't know.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley. I have a lot of
Is
Titans
he, is he
knowledge.
still on the team?
No,
Yeah,
no,
he
he's
is.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. No, they signed him to
Oh,
a big
he is.
deal
Yeah,
last year.
that's right. That's
I
right.
know way too much about the Titans for no reason.
All right. Did he throw a pick here? What did he do? Buying all his time. All right, let's see. Is he going to throw this thing across the field? Please don't.
Yes, he is.
Oh, God. Oh,
What
God.
the? Yeah, I remember watching this. I remember watching this too. I remember
That
being
might
like,
be one
"Yeah,
of
this
the
is
worst throws I've ever
this
seen.
is the Cam Ward experience. Only Josh Allen gets away with shit like this. Only Josh Allen gets away with stuff like this."
Yeah. Yeah, this might be one of the worst throws that we've seen from any of the prospects that we've watched so far. You got to know when to let a play die. You just have to throw this
He
thing out
doesn't
of
see that
bounds.
backside DB just waiting.
Just threw that thing in the middle of the field. You
Just
never
throw that
throw
away,
high.
man.
You never throw high in the middle of the field, and you never throw across into the middle of the field. Those are the two
I
things
can
you don't do. He did
already
both of them.
I can already see Brian Dable yelling at this man, like absolutely livid, like red as a tomato cherry at the Cam Ward for a throw like this.
Brian Dable has no stock in this game. Cam Ward's not even on the Giants right now, and I think he just broke a tablet watching this play.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. That's crazy. That's like literally the number one thing you don't do. And okay, and then you go Restrepo touchdown right after. I like Restrepo a lot.
It's also a good throw, and I think it's important to mention a lot of plays like this. People will say, "Oh, the receiver did all the work." Yeah, he broke a tackle, scored a touchdown, but also because the ball was on time. It's about timing. The timing is here. If this ball is a second later, he's catching it here, and this guy's closing in and making the tackle. It's all about timing. This is something I used to always say about Daniel Jones. Like people would say, "Oh, it hit the receiver in the hands. They should have caught it." And I'm like, "Yeah, but the timing was bad, and it was behind the receiver, and there was more room for yards after the catch if the timing was better." I used to always talk about that with Daniel Jones. He was always a tick behind. His timing was terrible. This is a perfectly timed ball, which is why it's a run after the catch for a long touchdown. And that's what we used to see with Eli as well. Eli and OBJ, their timing on those slant routes was godsend. That was golden. Slant, bang, touchdown, Odell. That's the timing that you need to see with your top receiver. And on this play, you see Cam Ward on this play action slant pass to Restrepo. Perfect timing, and that's why that's a touchdown. So, yes, give Restrepo the credit for breaking the tackle and making the long run. Also give credit to Cam Ward for throwing the ball with perfect timing to allow Restrepo to make that run after the catch.
Yep, and Turd Holler, I agree. I think he gets the ball out faster than anyone we've looked at so far.
Totally agree.
Yeah, the option stuff is good. He likes to hit Restrepo on those RPOs. A little bit behind him, but nothing crazy.
Yep. All right, so that one,
those sidearm screens.
Yeah, that's something Caleb used to do a lot. Those on the screens, he would just Caleb Williams, that is, he would just sidearm.
Lamar loves it. Lamar does that.
Yeah, Lamar does that too. I think Cam should probably grow a little bit more before he.
I hate these bunched freaking routes going downfield like this.
The spacing has been really poor on a lot of these route concepts, but it does do one thing against man coverage where it just takes two guys. You know, like you're not going to throw it to this inside guy. You're basically shielding off that outside guy with that inside guy, essentially, is the concept here. But I'm not a fan of it, and it doesn't work in the NFL. But at the collegiate level, it works. But this is a great throw. I want to just highlight how, again, nonchalant. He just kind of,
lobs that thing up.
The touch on that thing is so perfect. Like the way that he touches.
It like sails it right into where
he touches these balls so nicely.
You didn't even have to fucking say that.
Yeah, I did that one on purpose.
I know you didn't have to. You didn't have to do that. You could have kept that one to yourself.
Yeah, but your reaction was like,
there's people liking cannons in here. There's people touching balls, bro. Like,
but you got to understand, your reaction was priceless. I did it for the reaction, and I got what I wanted.
Yeah, you did. You got what you wanted. Mad pauses in the chat. Rightfully so.
Mad pause in the chat.
Rightfully so.
That's such a good ball, though. That's a perfect ball.
Oh my god, he just got destroyed. Oh my goodness, I don't even think anyone blocked that guy.
No, nobody blocked.
That was fast. I guess we just let that.
Yeah, this one I paused a lot less. So.
Okay,
but in some ways we paused a lot more.
He finesses the balls. Pause. It's a good one. Good one, Turd Holler. Good one.
Yeah, this one, I think they're setting up, whip route ISO against man coverage. This is going to be a touchdown. He just gets murdered.
Yep. Nobody blocked. That's on the running back.
Could be on Cam, though. Maybe Cam didn't call the right protection. So it's
Possible.
really tough sometimes when evaluating quarterbacks to tell.
I think that running back just completely missed that game, missed that block. But to each their own, Mr. Running Back. I do believe that after 2 games of watching Cam Ward, I mean, the dude's got every single piece of talent to be a star in the NFL. Another guy, I think he has to go to the right situation. You know, I think he's got to go to a place that is going to be able to develop him, help him make the right decisions. Don't force passes. Take what defenses are giving you. He can run a game. You can tell, Cam Ward can run a game. He can take over a game. But the problem is sometimes he gets too invested in making big plays that he doesn't control the momentum of the game. Instead, he kind of lets the momentum take advantage of him. And I do think this is an instance where I'd love for him to develop in the way that allows him to be under control instead of trying to win the game in the first quarter. You know what I mean? Sometimes he's trying to win the game in the first half. And I'm sometimes you gotta play the game like it's 4 quarters. You gotta be controlled, structured. Don't take unnecessary risks you don't need to. In the NFL, every point matters, man. How many times have we seen close games, 1 possession games? You can't turn the ball over like that. It won't play. And he'll start to have confidence issues if that happens. He's got to get that control. And I think that will be a big catalyst for him if he can get under his game a little bit under control. But I don't think eliminating his riskiness is what I'm trying to say. Just reining it in slightly.
Well, that's exactly the thing. NFL teams don't like to draft conservative quarterbacks and push them outside of their comfort zone. They like to draft gunslinger, aggressive quarterbacks and rein them in. Those are the best quarterbacks in the NFL. All the top ones, they were gunslingers. They were reined in. Josh Allen was reined in. Patrick Mahomes was reined in. Those guys are freaks and mutants. Even Lamar Jackson used to let that thing just fly up there sometimes. Now he's a lot more calculated as a passer. But those guys who entered the league as way too conservative quarterbacks, Daniel Jones, they don't pan out. It's really tough to push them and get them to throw the ball downfield and become more aggressive. So I love that in Cam's DNA is a tendency to just look downfield and rip that thing and make those throws and be aggressive. I think it's really important. And I think it's what a WR1 like Malik Neighbors yearns for. That's what he needs. So I'm really excited about the idea of Cam. I don't think we're going to end up getting him. But again, I think it was important practice to go through and watch this game so that we have a baseline comparison for all of these guys in the class. And we'll break him down again. And to answer a question here, somebody asked, are we going to be getting a Travis Hunter breakdown? Absolutely. We are definitely going to break down Hunter. We're going to break down Abdul Carter. We're going to break down Mason Graham, Will Campbell, everybody that you think is going to be an option for the New York Giants at number 3 overall. We're going to break them down, and we're going to break down guys for the middle rounds as well. So make sure that you do stay tuned to our film breakdown series because we're going to be going through as many of the draft prospects in 2025 as we can. This has been a lot of fun. I love doing these. We've done them, I think, 4 days in a row now?
Yep.
It's been a great series to get started, but that's the thing. We are only getting started, and I just can't wait. But any last takeaways, Alex, before we wrap this thing up? Final takeaways on Cam Ward. I saw somebody earlier in the chat say, hey, at the end of this, you should throw out some grades or some numbers to baseline these guys. I'll say as kind of a mini announcement, Alex and I are working on a little drafted database where we're going to be grading all of these prospects on our own scales that we're coming up with. And we're going to present those to you guys as we get closer to the draft. But Alex, any baseline ideas of, final thoughts or numbers, grades out there for Cam Ward after watching these 2 games?
I think that I've come away kind of a little bit more sour even on I love Cam. I still think Cam Ward is my number 1, but I'm not as high on him as I previously was because I don't think he's going to adjust immediately to the NFL. I think he's going to need some time. I think sitting for a year would be great for him. I think being in the right structure and the right system would be great for him. Learning how to operate in a little bit like a blend of a West Coast, like having West Coast elements to an offense would be really good for him to learn in real time and get that experience because he doesn't want to take what defense are giving, but he's going to have to at times. And I think that he has to be a little bit more under control in that way. I do think that, like you said, footwork, it can be poor. His hips, though, his arm, phenomenal. I think his arm talent's the best in the draft. In terms of just touch, placement, like the blend of it all. Maybe arm strength isn't the best, but I think that he can get the ball where it needs to go anywhere on the field. Like, I'm not worried about that. But his ability to zip passes in there in tight windows, it's there. He can freaking do it. It's just a matter of doing it consistently, because sometimes he will short arm them or sail them. I think that his arm mechanics can be flawed at times. When he's under pressure, he abandons his base a lot. When he starts to run, he can throw off balance for sure. But when he's under pressure in the pocket, he sometimes changes his arm slots. And I think that makes his throws wayward. So, under pressure in the pocket, I think there's a little bit of growth that needs to happen there. But most of all, it's just playing in structure and like blending a balanced attack, a balanced plan and processing. His processing is good. He gets through his reads really nicely. He just sometimes is a little bit late sometimes to hit his open receivers, and sometimes he just rushes it. Like, he's so decisive that sometimes he rushes his mechanics. I actually think slowing down slightly may be good for him sometimes, because he rushes into bad throws because when he sees a guy open, he wants to get rid of it. And then sometimes those throws are poor because the guy he was looking at actually wasn't open. So it's like, I don't know. Sometimes his decisiveness is actually his worst enemy, and it oftentimes is his best friend. So like, his game plays poorly and well off each other at times. Like, he's just volatile in the way he performs. But the one thing he will say is all the mistakes he makes, that offense still puts up 30 plus points a game. So like, does it matter in the end? I mean, if they have a good running game and his passing game is as good as it has been, like, sometimes if he's going to score that many points, you just have to have an elite defense, and you can make it work.
It can work, and we've seen it work. And I think, if we want to fall back on some of the other NFL players that we've mentioned already, Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, some of these guys who have that tendency to turn the ball over and play hero ball, and sometimes it bites the team in the ass. Other times it creates big plays and touchdowns. Like, there's an avenue for this playing style to be one that reaches Cam to the upper echelon of the NFL, but there's also an avenue where this playing style can really cause him to flame out quickly and be a complete bust. But I think it's just going to be dependent on situation, as it is with every rookie quarterback. I think it always mostly depends on situation, where they get drafted to. But my final thoughts from this particular film breakdown and some closing thoughts on Cam Ward. I think that he is still my QB1. I still think he has the highest ceiling of any of the quarterbacks in this draft class, and I don't think that's going to change. I still think he has a very low floor, as I always thought. And I think that some of the things that I saw at Washington State that were flaws are still present in his game, and he hasn't necessarily grown out of them. And I'm curious to see if he does grow out of them at the next level or not, because some of them are pretty fatal flaws at times that do cost him big reps and cost his team games sometimes. So the growth from Washington State to Miami is tremendous in terms of his accuracy, his pocket mobility and presence, his poise under pressure. He took major steps in that regard, but there still is that tendency to turn the ball over and force throws. And I don't know, across 3-year sample size of starting, it's been the same and it hasn't really improved. I don't know when and if it will. And so it does give me concern for Cam Ward as a developmental prospect in the NFL. But again, still very high on him. Still really excited to continue to dive into him and watch more of his games. And of course, like I said, we will be doing that on this channel. So make sure you stay tuned. And I'm just excited, man. We've got a lot more film to get into. Let's call this a nice ending point for this stream, and we'll be back really soon for another one. So just make sure you turn notifications on for the channel, ring the bell, make sure you're subscribed so you get notified so that you can see some more of these breakdowns. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one. If you're rewatching it, not live, but watching it later, comment your thoughts down below. We'd love to interact with you guys and hear your thoughts on these quarterbacks as well. And hey, let us know who you want us to break down next, because we will dive into as many of these prospects as possible. So we will catch you all in the next one. Have a good one, and let's go Giants.